Welcome back to the show, guys. Welcome back to the Iron House podcast. My name is Daryl.
I'm Roy.
And I'm Sofyan.
And today we're going to be talking about some fitness myths.
Yes,
So
sir.
fitness myths, workout myths, training myths. So there's a lot of common misinformation floating around. You know,
Sadly.
That's what happens when you have, such a big market and unregulated and such a big industry
Oh, yeah.
that anyone can make a name for themselves. And it's when the consumer of that market is the uninformed party, they'll just believe anything. And a lot of
and
things.
they're greedy. Like, they will take anything to get.
Yeah.
So,
And when you're uninformed or uneducated in something, a lot of things sound really plausible. You hear something that makes sense. If you say, oh yeah, if you just do a shitload of crunches, then eventually you'll get abs.
hey, I wrote that one down.
Yeah, you can like spot training, like the core, and for people who are uninformed, it sounds like it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of it is also, a lot of times it's also based on something, just like based on like old science or old stuff.
Or
on
old
one
way of
person.
thinking.
Yeah,
One
but
person
just
finds
One
results,
motherfucker
like-
said something once. Yeah.
yeah, but people just keep running with it.
Yeah. I think it comes from the tendency to want to cling on to any sense of authority. So as soon as you feel like, oh, well, this is an interesting piece of information, this is what I can use to convince people of my place in this market, let me use it. And I think everyone's guilty of it at some point, because sometimes you're just unaware that a thing that you think is true and that you peddle to your customers or clients is, not based in any factual way.
And for customers, it's security.
Yeah.
That person has got this from this, so
Yeah.
it must work for me as
And
well.
I think it's also
Yeah.
because it's so easy to get certified with shit now.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's the certifications and courses and everything, and so as soon as
3-hour course,
you can
boom.
you can still be walking around with this bullshit myth of before you did the course and now you're a certified personal trainer or whatever, and then you're still you could still be saying something that's not true because you believe it since the first time you walked into a gym.
Yeah, what oftentimes you'll see a lot of influencers do is like they'll take something with like a grain of truth and then totally blow it up.
Oh, yeah.
The way disproportionately where it just becomes something dumb.
And
I
also-
love when you do that because so you know how gravity exists, right? Well, so if you do a shitload of crunches, then you can spot train your core.
Yeah, exactly. But it's also, the better it looks, the more visual it is, the better it does on social media. So it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
true. If
Yeah.
it looks good,
Yeah.
then it works.
If
They
you-
get 1 million likes, even though it's complete bullshit, but it looks dope.
But also, exactly what you just said. If it's bullshit, but it has 1 million likes, everyone will just assume that it's true. And that's just what happens in this kind of market industry. And
Digitalization.
I'm happy that most of the myths that there are out there aren't truly harmful. Like as a lot of them are just based on someone just training a certain way or eating a certain way, and as long as it's slightly healthier than what you're doing before, because even a bad workout routine that doesn't injure you in the gym is better than no workout routine at all, right?
True.
Yep.
So
True.
so at least most of them aren't like
Harmful.
yeah, it's not super crazy cultist shit. But there are a few pretty bad ones out there, so that's what I'm going to talk about today. So I figured I'll just talk from the perspective of a gym owner, the things that I hear a lot, and from years and years, because we've been doing this for 6 years. There's still some shit that you hear since then, and you guess people still coming with now. So I'll just talk about those kind of ones, and you guys can hit me with some of your favorites. So I want to start with one that still irritates the living shit out of me. One of the worst ones it's still in the minds of the general public, that women will get manly from lifting weights.
Oh God!
That's the first
Yeah.
one on my list
Yeah,
right
yeah.
there.
That's the
he
one
stole your myth.
that's the one that's still people still come in sometimes off the street and are like, yeah, but this is a strength gym. Like, I don't want to get bulky or manly. I'm like,
But even any gym.
I don't want to get too muscular.
Any
I'm like,
gym.
man, that's
And
just
the
hard.
thing is, people they dedicate their lives to this.
yeah,
Dedicate their nutrition is on point, their workouts are on point, their sleep's on point. You're not gonna get bulky from 2 workouts a week and then eat pizza at home.
you know how hard you have to
Nothing is
work.
gonna-
and you know the
nothing's
thing is,
gonna happen.
but even if you did, you can just stop.
Yeah, exactly.
If you stop, then the bulkiness is gonna go
Yeah,
It's-
even if it was true, so what? Like, there's so many layers to why I hate this myth. Because a lot of women say, like, I don't want to get too bulky. First of all, there's nothing wrong with bulky women.
no.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with muscular women. Nothing wrong with bulky women. I hate the term like masculine men because there's no masculine and feminine.
No.
Like muscles isn't masculine. Muscles is human. So there are some very, very lovely individuals, and even like the fact that muscular or bulky is not attractive. Hey,
Hey, that's preference.
it's preference. There's some beautiful ass
Yeah,
women who are
sure.
built
Mm-hmm.
So there's many layers to why I just fucking dislike this myth. And one of the reasons I dislike it also is not because people have it in their mind, but there are still coaches and trainers who perpetuate that bullshit. All these fitness motherfuckers, they just go, oh ja, nee, maar we moeten maximaal 20 kilo en sets van 20. Like, man.
Don't want to lift too heavy or get too bulky.
All these fitness motherfuckers.
Hey, look, if you have fitness congratulations, but understand that you've done nothing yet. Start like fitness is like your appetizer into actually going to learn something. Yeah. So keep going. Congratulations.
Like you want to ride a bike, but you bought a 3-wheeler.
Exactly. Don't come to me with fitness
right.
and then tell me
you're not riding a bike yet.
And tell me that women get bulky. And if it was that easy, then all these dudes training, everyone would be bulky.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is for me to get bulky? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wish the myth was true. So yeah, so that's top of the list for me. I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
Same. And with that comes, well, not with that, just another one actually.
Hit me.
People that play like soccer, football, for whoever is watching soccer or football, they don't have to train legs. No, but my legs. That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing.
So what's the myth?
They're like, I don't train legs because I play football or soccer.
Well,
I'm like, that's.
I know for a fact that's not true because I coach Sean, and ever since I started coaching him, he won MVP. And I make him do a lot of legs.
Yeah.
Now he's fucking agile and fast.
Some people also still think that strength training makes you slower.
Yeah.
Unfucking believable.
I know.
Have you never watched ESPN in your life? Like,
well, apparently, I don't. ESPN is not very common in the Netherlands.
Shit, you're right. Okay, that's my bad. So whatever the Dutch equivalent is of fucking like
Fox Sport.
Yeah, Fox Sport. There you go.
But they only show soccer.
But American football players, rugby players, combat sports.
They outlift the whole Dutch weightlifting competition.
Yeah, but they're not. But they're agile and fast and explosive as hell.
Yeah.
And they're big and bulky. They're dudes who fucking squat 220 and deadlift 300. But then they got to sprint for like 100 meters and they're good.
Yeah, because more muscles, more force is more speed.
Exactly.
Yeah. Up to a certain point.
Up to a certain point, of course. Yeah. Like I haven't seen a lot of really really fast strong men, but there are a few out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a whole lifestyle though. That's the thing. Yeah. Like their lifestyle's not built around fast.
But I think the reason why the myth is so senseless is that you get good in what you train for.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
if you don't have to be fast, you don't train for it, you're not gonna get fast.
Yeah, but if you're big and muscular, but you train for speed and agility and explosiveness, you'll get there. You can improve over time, and like what you look like, not necessarily what you're supposed to be good at. Because there are a lot of also super tall, lanky dudes in powerlifting who are fucking strong. You would think, oh, that super built jack dude is stronger than that guy. No, but this man has better leverages, or he's more explosive, or his technique is more on point.
There's a lot more to it.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it. Piggybacking off of that one, that you mentioned it, one of the things that also irks me is people who they live by those somatotypes, like ectomorph, endomorph, mesomorph.
I had to learn about that stuff in school. It's awful.
Same.
So
shut up.
So just so everyone knows, all those somatotypes things, those type of bodies that you have, whether you're ectomorph, endomorph, first of all, it's all like a full table of bullshit. It's based on some stupid study a long time ago just to try and like pigeonhole people into, oh, well, if you're this kind of person, then not only body type, but they try to link it to your like potential in life and that kind of shit. So it's complete garbage. You may look a little bit more broad-shouldered than someone else, but you can definitely change your body type over time. You can't change your skeletal build. That is what it is. You can't change your genes. That is what it is. But you can definitely change the shape around everything. It's just because you're an ectomorph, and people who are listening, I'm using air quotes. Just because you're ectomorph doesn't mean shit. You can train any way you want to train. You can do anything you want to do. You can build muscle.
It may take you a little longer.
Exactly.
It's not impossible.
For some people, just a little bit harder, but it's not impossible. No. Like you're not one specific type of person, and these are your limitations, and these are your parameters. Just fucking just ignore all that bullshit.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is, like, people oftentimes think about when you start off skinny, you have a harder time like building muscle because you have bad genetics, which isn't even true. Because like your genetics determine how you respond to training. So if you've never done training before and you're skinny, well, you might just be a really good responder and get really jacked really fast. Yeah. Even though you started skinny.
Exactly.
Always throwing out facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
hey man, I'll go full nerd mode on this shit. I love this.
Yeah, because it feeds into the industry just trying to like gatekeep and keep people in certain places. Oh, if you're this, then you can't do powerlifting. Oh, like women shouldn't lift weights. But it's all trying to create false parameters in the industry where you can do literally whatever the fuck you want. If you want to do nothing but curls, do nothing but curls. There's nothing stopping you. Like, as long as you're not using bad technique, there's like, who gives a shit? Same thing. People who say pineapple can go on pizza. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Who made you the prince of pizza? You can put anything on anything. You can train any way and anywhere. As long as you're not hurting anyone else, do what you got to do. I saw your face.
It still tastes bad. And I'm not saying pineapple. I'm saying fruits. Warm fruits on a bready texture.
So for you, exactly. So for you, you don't have to do that. Same as someone who wants to do powerlifting doesn't have to go do pole dancing. Do what you want to do. Do what makes you happy.
Except maybe I want to do pole dancing.
Wants to do pole dancing.
Maybe you do. Hey, exactly. No judgment. Just do what you got to do. All right. Next.
I got the next one. So the funny thing is, first I wrote down like how people often think that knees going past your toes when squatting is like dangerous or bad for your knees.
I feel like we're living in the same world.
But like,
I wrote all these
at first I thought about that one, but then it was basically like, it's basically insert any exercise is bad for insert any body part. Because there's
blank is bad for blank.
Yeah, because there's a lot of those. There's like deadlift's bad for your back, but also like this technique is bad for this and this, which like none of it is true. Like you can basically do anything as long as you like load it progressively well enough.
Bad technique is bad for stuff.
Yeah.
No, that's the only thing.
But that's the interesting thing. Like not even bad technique, I'm using air quotes for people just listening, not even bad technique is like more injury prone. Like you can basically adapt to anything.
Yeah, it's about adaptability. Yeah. It's about are you giving yourself the best chance to adapt to something to increase the load over time. Like if you're doing shitty technique and you're making a jump of 100 kilos, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah.
But like that's kind of the same idea follows people. Oh, you can't deadlift with a crooked back. Well, if you look at any power competition or look top of the powerlifting food chain.
Yep.
No, there's no straight back.
Straight back is one super relative. It's a margin, and what's more important than a straight spine, because people don't know what a straight back is. Like a straight spine is just tension, like a position that doesn't move under load. So if you have a slightly crooked back, but it stays tight as a motherfucker as throughout your whole range of motion, that's a lot safer than starting off with a really straight spine, and then halfway through the deadlift you start bending. That bending under load, that shearing, that's what causes most injuries for people. And people try to over accentuate that super straight back, and they to the point where they're just booty popping, or they're basically just arching even, and then it puts you in a really awkward position to lift heavy weights, and then you can't maintain that over time. So it falls in the same category as knees should not go over the toes, or your back should be straight. No, your back should be tight. Your back should not flex under load.
Yeah, but there's also never been like any study showing that, or any good study that has shown that lifting with a rounded over back is more injury prone than just lifting with a neutral back. Because
technique matters more. If you're able to keep that position you have, if that's where you're most comfortable, what's really important in deadlifting is activating your lats. For some people, it's much easier to activate your lats if you slightly dip your chest forward. It's just easier to do. People who pull sumo will know that as well. Like I can't fucking pull my chest out and then squeeze my lats as much as I can if I'm here. Keep a nice tight compartment, a nice tight trunk. That's for me, makes me feel the safest. And I don't know if it's kind of a myth, but training deadlifts and having someone like with their hands on your lower back and your hands on your chest.
Oh boy,
You guys ever seen that shit?
Yes.
So someone's like trying to spot the deadlift. So that shit, so pushing down on the hips or pushing forward and pushing chest up,
dangerous.
That doesn't work.
So dangerous.
So that's I don't know if that's like a myth, but that shit does not work. That's just categorically bad for you.
If you see a spotter at a deadlift, they're there to catch someone if they pass out, or if they trip, or if they
that's the only
anything.
Time
that's the only reason they're spotters at a deadlift.
Yeah,
not because of the form.
I like that one. That's a good one.
Well, I once saw this one video about spotting a deadlift.
Oh yeah, what the?
It was on TikTok, so it was true.
Yeah. Let's talk about our video, the April Fool's.
It all depends on which date it was posted.
Tuesday, not true. Wednesday, yes, it was true.
So yeah, what more we got?
What you got, Sofjan?
Hans said Sofjan is strong. That's a myth. Which is not a myth.
There's some fighting words.
I know, but he's just scared that I'm going to Like, I'm gonna overshoot his max, his current max instead of his old one. Okay, this is maybe not a myth, but
What?
putting chalk on your legs. We all talked about this. Putting chalk on your legs doesn't work. Just want to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just want
Yeah,
to say
so
it again.
the white stuff on people's legs when they're deadlift, that's baby powder.
Yeah.
You know, because baby powder helps things become smooth and helps the bar slide along your legs.
It makes
If
it
you-
smell adorable.
Yeah. If you do that with chalk, it doesn't help. It makes it worse. So don't do that. Do yourself a favor.
I also had the one of like being big makes you slow,
Yeah.
because there's a bunch of myths about powerlifting. So a lot of people who don't know the sport who have the I guess the old school bodybuilding perspective of powerlifting, who say like powerlifters are slow, powerlifters are lazy, powerlifters are fat. So all those things are categorically like, incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
Or that all CrossFit women are bulky.
Yeah.
It's also one of those things. It all kind of falls in the same category, just uninformed
To be
people.
fair, CrossFit women are pretty damn jacked.
Yeah, you can be if you want to, but I also know a lot of people who train CrossFit who don't look any extra, because it all depends on which level you're training.
That's
Same
the
as
thing.
true.
If
a
you
high
look at
level
the top-
powerlifter.
Yeah, exactly. If you look at the top of the world, then yes, people are going to be more like developed, I guess.
Yeah, that's the first thing that popped in my mind.
Yeah, and that's the only thing that's getting aired as well. So obviously
Yeah.
they only see. But there's millions of people doing CrossFit,
Yeah,
and there's like
True.
yeah.
5% of them they look jacked. And
Don't look at the top 10%. Look at the bottom 90%. And
Exactly.
you see what the average participant of that sport does.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I have one thing. Longer workouts are better. There's so many people. They're like, oh, you're in the gym for only an hour? Oh, yeah, I'm in the gym for 2 hours. I'm like, that's the thing. Especially for people that start off working out.
So it's like a brag to be in the gym longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not. It doesn't mean anything.
Look,
the intensity of your workout does. But
I equate training duration same as sleep. It's not only about sleep length.
Quality.
It's good to sleep around 8 hours, but your quality of sleep is better.
yeah.
Same with training. Like if you're in the gym for 2 hours, but you're doing quality work, you're doing specific things, you're training specific for your goal. Awesome. If you're in the gym for 2 hours and you're fucking around most of the time and you're on your phone and you're dilly-dallying, then you got to ask yourself, like, are you actually training for 2 hours or are you in the gym for 2 hours? That's two different things. Especially in this gym, most people are not in the gym as long as they're working out. Most people work out and then they're in the gym longer because it's gezellig. They want to chill and talk to people and like there's like chatting before and chatting after. So, oh yeah, I was in the gym for 3 hours. Oh damn, must have been a good workout. Like no, it was 20 minutes of stretching and
Yeah,
then,
exactly.
like, 2 sets of squats. And the rest was just chilling.
5-minute rest becomes 15-minute rest.
Exactly. One of the myths also that you hear often is everything has to do with like cold for recovery. So like cryo baths and like ice baths and all this stuff that like I don't want to be sore, so I'll ice my body or I'll go do like a cryotherapy thing. Like there's no evidence that shows that any type of cold stimulation will help with onset muscle soreness. You're better off just doing a quick 5 to 10 minute like low pace cycling or moving, stretching, going for a walk. That just movement is usually the best medicine for most people. There's a few cases where some type of cold can work, like if it has a placebo effect on some people, and some people they do it not for recovery but for like emotional therapy. That's all fine and dandy. But to say that, oh, you're not recovering fast enough, so you should go start doing cryotherapy or you should start always do ice dips after your workout.
I've heard that it doesn't help recovery, but that it can sort of, how do you say it? Delay the soreness somewhat.
Yeah.
So for instance, you got to do like 2 hard workouts 2 days in a row. Then having like a cold bath might help you perform better the day after. But because you're like actually delaying the recovery process.
Yeah.
So doing it after your normal workouts isn't productive because you want to recover.
Yeah. So you're pushing that boundary, and then again, that's people who are professional athletes, and how many people actually train twice a day? But it's being perpetuated as everyone should do that. So if you're starting to working out, okay, here's your first program you ever done before, and make sure you do cryotherapy. No, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
And in the same category as that, something that pisses me off is, I'm not saying all are myths, but most supplements are bullshit.
Yes.
Most training supplements are garbage. So if you go to any big website, I'm sorry for exercise nutrition, all these things, because hey, make your money, boo boo. If you can get people to buy it,
we
cool.
just fucked up all sponsors.
Hey, I don't give a shit. Like integrity, man. aside from the functional use of caffeine, and besides the additional intake of protein by taking protein,
Yeah, exactly.
and the small little bump that you can get from creatine, everything else is crap, basically. But not so much because it doesn't do anything, but the way it's being sold, to me, that's the bullshit part.
Yeah.
You have people they start working out, and then training is not optimized at all. Lifestyle is not optimized at all. Nutrition, not at all. Sleep and recovery, not at all.
But they got to get their 2.3 grams of protein.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then, but they take BCAAs, they take creatine, they take fucking, they can't even drink normal water. It can only be water mixed with lemon.
Electrolytes.
You know? Exactly. So the myth in my head is that you need nutrition, you need good supplements. Not nutrition, good supplements to like train effectively. Save your money, start training properly first, start sleeping good first, start cleaning up your lifestyle a little bit first, then get to a point where you're not a beginner or novice anymore, you're more intermediate athlete. Then if you want to go towards performance training, then you can start looking into supplements. There's no need if you train, like let's be honest, most people who train 3 times a week train 2.5 times a week. One of those workouts is going to be shitty, right? Not in our gym because we try to preach people to be like, no, hey, let's get this thing going. But if you're training 2 times a week and on the weekends you not do nothing but sleep horrible and drink alcohol and eat shitty food, yeah, that creatine is not going to save your life, and that protein that you have to have in your anabolic window, that's not going to do anything for you. So, and the anabolic window is also another one.
I was about to hop on that one.
Yeah, anabolic window.
God. You got 28 minutes and 17 seconds to eat.
Exactly. After
your last rep, you gotta fucking run home.
It's like
gotta get the protein in.
10, 11, 12.
Fucking run home.
Yeah. That's also, there's the slight benefits of having a range of time close to your workouts to eat, but that most has to do with you don't want to be hungry when you're training. Yeah. You don't want to be depleted when you're training.
And the range is like 2 hours, not 30 minutes.
No, yeah, exactly. Even more. But it's like 2 hours before and 2 hours after.
Yeah.
If you have a good pre-workout meal, they can already serve. Like, what the fuck you think you are, a battery? Like that if you eat a sandwich half an hour for your workout, that is already all fully absorbed and creating performance for you.
And people think people just look at the calories. Oh, I just ate 500 calories. I burned 700 calories, so I got to eat more.
Yeah.
First of all, burning 700 calories in a workout is tough.
Yeah, I know.
Especially, that's tough.
Yeah, but people like do some kind of cardio machine, and those machines always overestimate.
Oh,
Always.
Man, my
4 steps and you burned 5 calories. I'm like, what?
My watch is pretty accurate, but I always assume at least 100 calories less.
Oh, yeah.
Just always. And I have to kill myself for an hour to get to 500 calories. So
exactly. Burning calories is tough.
Yeah.
You can't hop on a treadmill and walk for 20 minutes and burn 400 calories.
The assault bike and rower, all those caloric estimates is not really a caloric estimate. It's just
they're an estimate for us as trainers.
Exactly. An assumed amount of energy output. But people really like think, oh, I did 100 calories of rowing, so I can eat 100 calories more. It's not a one-to-one
because
comparison.
the actual energy output like of your body depends on which person is using it. Like
exactly.
It's going to be different. Somebody that weighs like 50 kilos compared to somebody like my size using it.
Exactly. My ass always needs to work a little bit harder to get that shit done. But in the wonderful trend of nutrition, all diets are bullshit.
Oh yeah.
Basically, every diet is bullshit because if
temporary fixes.
Exactly. Anything that puts you in a caloric deficit will help you lose weight.
Yeah.
What you have to ask yourself is it something you can maintain over a long period of time or maybe forever? Does this stimulate your training goals? And are you getting a healthy balance of macro and micronutrients?
The thing is, diets are bullshit for long-term servings.
No, so what I mean is diets are bullshits as a solution to your weight problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because let's say if you're a bodybuilder and you got to prep for it, then you got to hop on it. Like, let's say you're on a prep for a show.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily call that even like a diet. That's just a tactical nutritional move.
Yeah, but like the word diet is also misused because like your diet is just what you eat.
Exactly.
You have a diet. I have a diet.
Yeah,
everybody in the gym has a diet. It's just what you eat in a day.
And so when I mean to say that as I mean like a detox diet or a smoothie diet or a keto or everything is nonsense. You have to look at first, do you have any specific dietary needs or restrictions? Like if you have an insulin problem or if you have if your fucking liver has a certain issue, then yes, you should limit those things that make that problem worse. First of all. But anything that puts you in a caloric deficit, yes, you will lose weight. The question you have to ask yourself is, are you losing weight in the right way? Because if you're losing weight for 3 weeks and you feel great, and as soon as you have a cheeseburger, you're fucked. And not only that, people have experienced problem with their intestines, with the digestive system, with bloating. So most diets, like diet fads, maybe that's a better way to put it, diet fads, all bullshit.
Yeah.
Detoxing, for example, another example of that. Your body doesn't need help, like getting rid of bad shit in your body. Your
liver
body
and kidneys do that just fine.
Exactly. Your body is a fucking machine. You don't need a detox diet. And there's also diets that have like monthly detox week in it. So then they're in a severe caloric deficit for 3 weeks, and then they go detox. So it's all liquid foods, and then like 1,000 calories, and people are like, yeah, but it works. Of course it works. But starvation also works.
Yeah.
Cutting off your leg will also make you lighter. You know,
it works for 2 months, and then they rebound, and then they just gain all the way back plus some. You know, the best diet is the diet that you can stick to. Compliance is the science.
Exactly.
Oof.
It's the best you can stick to, and the one that supports not only your training and fitness goals, but also supports and stimulates your social goals as well. Because if you have a diet that works for you, but is making you miserable, and your people around you who you love don't want to be around you anymore because you're kind of unbearable.
Bad diet.
You're not going to stick to it. Or you're going to be sacrificing things you don't want to sacrifice, and the juice might not have been worth the squeeze.
But speaking about diets, I have another one about diets, but more specifically foods. Like people categorizing foods into healthy and unhealthy as far as singular food items go.
Shut up.
Which just isn't really how it works. No. You know, there's healthy eating habits and unhealthy eating habits, but not necessarily healthy and unhealthy foods. Like, you can have a cheeseburger as long as you have like all the good stuff the rest of the day, and you'll be fine.
Or at least somewhere in the week.
Yeah, exactly.
And
if you eat cheeseburger every night, there you go.
Yeah.
Or I mean,
you can have a cookie, just not 12.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you also have to ask yourself, are you depriving yourself of more like tasty, savory foods people categorize as bad foods in a way that is making you, that's detrimental to your progress? Are you suffering unnecessarily? Are you maybe creating more emotional damage to yourself because you're restricting yourself so much because I can't eat anything bad? Oh no, like I don't get invited to weddings anymore because they have to like fucking give me a pescatarian dish,
Yeah, because that's what happens. People like restrict themselves because I can't eat this because it's unhealthy. I can't eat that because it's unhealthy. Like, yeah, you can just not all the time.
Just regulate it. Regulation.
Everything in proportion.
Exactly.
I want to say it in Dutch, but I forgot how to say it. Alles naarmate.
Hey,
yeah.
Where's my windmill? I want a garden of tulips and nothing but cheese. Let's go.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Hey, anyone have like one last really good one?
Oh, I've
maybe one that really pisses you off.
I have one that really, really pisses me off.
Let's go.
Because I'm training Dylan, 16-year-old kid, super.
I already know what you're going with this.
Yeah. Every time I tell people about him, they're like, "Isn't that dangerous?" No, please shut the fuck up. Kids can lift weights.
Man, I wish I got into lifting when I was like 15 or 14.
Same.
Man. I want to say same, but I was.
Yeah, you were good.
I was good.
Yeah, but that's the myth is that like it's like a combination. People say children shouldn't train or lift weights, or lifting weights stunts your growth.
Yeah.
No, that could not be further from the truth. I think it's based on, if I'm not mistaken, it's based on this research they did with like fucking kids back in the 50s or 60s, like in labor camps and shit.
Yeah.
And then, but in cultures where people are generally more short, I think in Asian countries, which are a little bit shorter, and it wasn't a proper research at all. It was just like, hey, these kids aren't really as tall as privileged people who have better nutrition and shit.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, so I think what the kids in the study did, it was they were basically just doing child labor, and they weren't fed properly. Like, they were suffering from malnutrition. Yeah, no shit, they're shorter. Mm-hmm. Like, if you have kids, like, doing way too much manual labor, like, full-time job, and then not feeding them properly, yeah, they're going to end up a bit shorter.
Yeah, they might not be fully grown.
Yeah.
But, like, no.
The more annoying thing is, like, people say that, like strength training, lifting weights is dangerous for kids, but then they have them do all these other sports that are like way more injury prone, that are like way more dynamic. They have them do like martial arts and soccer, and like stuff that's way more dynamic, where you can run into injuries
torn Achilles heels, torn
Yeah.
fucking like Kruisbanden.
ACL, stuff
Exactly.
like that.
Like you have kids who are 16 and like, I pulled my shoulder like 3 times.
Yeah, they wear braces, like €4,500 braces.
Gymnasts,
And like,
gymnasts that's also one tricky. So
ballet, I want to mention it.
I think the lesson is that kids are resilient as hell. They can take a lot as long as they're training properly, doing the right things, and they're not succumbing to all these fitness myth bullshits that we talked about today. And that counts for you as well. There's almost nothing that you can't really do or you can achieve as long as you're doing the right things. You're avoiding all these fitness myths. Don't let people in. Don't let anyone pigeonhole you into anything. Don't let people restrict you from doing anything that's safe. And don't let people trick you into believing that A is right and B is not.
And please do your own research.
You know, I usually give that advice out, but people don't know how to do the research. So
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
so they'll go
That's
Google.
true.
They'll
No, but
Google.
one thing
why is keto diet good for
Exactly.
you? And
But
then
one
you're
thing I
fucked.
tell people is look up the one thing and then look up the exact opposite, and you'll see that there's as many articles, as many thingies on both subjects.
And that-
working out for kids is bad. Look up working out for kids is good.
Yeah.
You'll see as many articles that explain
Yeah.
why it's good.
I mean, that's exactly why this problem arises, because it's such a huge market, and anyone can write a blog.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone can make a YouTube video. So you have everyone's opinions being flooded, and you're gonna be attracted to the person who appeals you the most, and you're gonna assume that this guy is jacked, this guy is swole. Oh, he's using slightly sciencey terms. Oh man, that word he used has 14 syllables. Damn, he must know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
and then you fall into that trap and you go down a rabbit hole.
Because that's the hard thing. You have a lot of these influencers that sort of use sciencey words, and they're oftentimes really popular, but they give like very hard answers. Oh, just do this.
Yeah.
And usually, like the really good, the actual evidence-based guys are a lot more nuanced, but
They're
it also
ranged.
makes them a lot less popular because
Isn't that clear enough?
their message isn't as popular.
Yeah, because that's one of the things that pisses me off the most in this whole industry is people who say this and not that.
Yeah.
And when you say, oh, if you want to get big quads, do this exercise. We're like, first of all, shut the fuck up. Second of all, you could have the most optimized, most efficient exercise, but if you perform it poorly, you're still shitting the bed. So anytime people say like everything here, yes, and these things never,
It's bullshit.
then you're not starting from the perspective of what are your training goals, what do you need, what are your personal limitations, what are your personal wishes.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't start from that place, then you're probably always just spitting fire. All right.
True.
I think what we're gonna do is everyone who's listening, we're gonna ask you to let us know what your most disliked or crazy fitness myths are, because I think we have enough for a second episode.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Because I think we just only start scratching the surface.
Yeah,
And
But then, while talking, I came up with like 3
I've got
or
like
4 more.
6 more written down.
Oh, there you go.
yeah. So what also happens in this conversation, because some things are just so annoying that we go off in a tangent and we're like, oh, fuck this shit. And then we get a little excited. So thanks for listening, guys. Let us know what your most crazy, absurd fitness myths are, and we will probably feature them in another fitness training myth episode. Don't forget to follow this podcast and like and subscribe on YouTube. We have both an audio version if you're listening. We have a video version if you rather see our pretty faces as we speak. And share it with some of your buddies who might be still falling for these fitness myths. What was that?
I'm always touching anything and then just squeaked. Sorry.
Yeah, let's go with your fidget, man. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Peace.
See ya.
I'm sweating my ass off. Am I the only one?
fucking warm
Holy shit.
It's really warm, right?